Mr. Otmar Szafnauer, he's been away from Formula One for a little bit, thanks to Alpine, who can't even run a bath, never mind run a Formula One team. But Mr. Otmar has had previous jobs with the BAR, with the Honda, with the Aston Martin, the Force India, the Racing Point. I can go on and on and on. A man well seasoned in the Formula One paddock. And although he's out of a job currently, there is no doubt somewhere soon he will be back in Formula One, currently on gardening leave after his departure with Alpine. The question I want to answer here, where next for Otmar? Which job should he take in Formula One? Where should he go? There's a plethora of teams I could add to this camp, and let's get into those teams. Let's see where Otmar Szafnauer should go next. Now, in what capacity in terms of the job, I don't particularly know. He could be a team principal, he could be a racing engineer, I don't care what it is, whatever the case may be. There is room for Otmar to be in Formula One. But let's speculate, which team is best suited for his services? And vice versa. I'm sure we can find him a job, can't we? I want to take your attention to Williams. Why? A team that is ready to add to their progression, okay? Remember, Williams used to be in the slums, right? In the gutter. And then they've got some help. They've had some time on here. And now you've got James Vowles at the camp. They're collecting a few points here and there, Williams. And I think they've got just a few missing pieces. It might be the number 2 driver. It could be something else. But I would like to present Otmar Szafnauer to the Williams team, because I think that with the experience and with the money that he has as well, it could really help develop and strengthen the Williams team. What about Haas? I tell you what, they need something, don't they? Surely, they just need something. The Haas situation, the Haas story has got stale and boring over the years. You have to agree. I mean, we've had the rich energy days. We've obviously got Gunther Steiner, but even then, Gunther Steiner can't always be the center of attention, okay? Haas has always been a story that's always developed. Even with Nikita Mazepin, okay? Yes, it was hell on earth, but it was still something to talk about, okay? Mick Schumacher crashing, it was not really the greatest thing that we wanted to be discussing when it comes to Haas, and Haas just needs something. They need to be relevant again. They need some season boost. And I think a person like Otmar Szafnauer can give them that boost. If only they could just, I don't know, get it together. Haas need a lot of help. They need money. And I know MoneyGram, title sponsor, flooding in some peas in there. But listen, Otmar could surely do a job in there. Surely get everyone's heads together and make sure that they can, perform and, perform as a team who might be underachieving, okay? Otmar is very good at being at teams that overachieve, okay? Look at the Force India. That alone, the Racing Point. You got to admit, they have been phenomenal when Otmar was at the camp. What about AlphaTauri? Now listen, a new name is coming in terms of their actual team name. What about a new man at the top? Listen, Otmar Szafnauer could slot in perfectly at AlphaTauri. They've made a few changes here. They've made a few things over the course of the 2023 season. And maybe the final piece of the jigsaw might be just to add Otmar into that. I think the drivers are good. I think everything else in terms of the facilities are good. Red Bull is like their older brother, so that what can really go wrong? I think Otmar, they need somebody now just to sort of, grab the bull by the horns, if that makes sense. Like really squeeze every juice that they can. Because the AlphaTauri, in my opinion, have been underachieving for far too long. We were loving the Toro Rosso, especially in that 2019. It was looking lovely. The livery was superb. And the performances were decent. They were half decent at least, okay? At least, Sebastian Vettel got a race win there. Gasly as well. But since then, it's just been a bit stale and boring. And I feel like Otmar just needs to bring in that performance. AlphaTauri have been looking for a way to revamp their identity, to become their own team. And I think Otmar, to lead that change, is perfect for them. How about Aston Martin? I know what you're thinking. He's just come from there. It didn't really end too well. And obviously having Lawrence Stroll there, they don't seem to get along well. But the thing is, we knew that he fit the team like a glove, okay? It just made perfect sense. Former Force India, former Racing Point, now Aston Martin. Nobody's going to know that team better than Otmar. Maybe in a different capacity, maybe, whatever differences that Lawrence Stroll and so on had. Listen, they can surely deal with that matter. Aston Martin started off with a great season, right? And then it's ended in hell, okay? It all depends on the role that he chooses. It all depends on how they can negotiate this. But surely the lack of Otmar in that team in some ways can hurt the team. I know they had a good start and it's easy to brush that to the side, but I don't know. I think Otmar being there would be such a great help for Aston Martin. Sauber, Audi Sauber, well, I'm hearing there's complications already going on with the team before the team's even got into place. And I'm sorry, Andreas Seidel and James Key, I mean, I don't know what they're doing over there, but look what they did to McLaren. Look how they ruined McLaren, okay? And I don't mean it in a harsh way. Listen, you got to take responsibility when the car hasn't worked out right. fair enough. You've got to, take the responsibility, take it on the chin and revamp, okay, and start over again. But I'm looking at them now recruiting these people. If they get it wrong, if Audi get it wrong, if Sauber mess up by 2026, I mean, they'll be left in arrears. And the thing is, I think they should bring in Otmar just to sort of ease the way in. They don't have to be gun-ho at the start of the 2026 season or even next season with Sauber. They don't have to necessarily be all gun-ho. It's all about putting the right pieces in place. And that's the thing with Formula One, especially with teams that you see progress so well. You look at the teams like Aston Martin, you look at McLaren, you look at these teams, even Red Bull, they put the pieces behind the scenes in place first, and then they're off to the races, okay? I think Sauber could really do with a proper experienced head. I know Seidel's got experience. James Key's been in that McLaren. But listen, Otmar Szafnauer has not had much for people to criticize against, whereas the other two, you could easily put a big blame on the McLarens of the 2021-22 kind of season and early 2023 as well. Otmar could go into that team with all the wealth of knowledge and experience, work with Seidel, work with James Key. It could be a match made in heaven. You got to have a look at it, Audi. Take a look, because he's free. He's just standing there on gardening leave. Get him out of that contract. Those are the teams that I think maybe Otmar Szafnauer would be an absolute great fit. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you believe in the teams that I've mentioned? Is there a team I've missed out? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on where Otmar should go. Should he even return in Formula One? Thank you for joining me. Make sure you smash a like. If you like Formula One content like this, do check out this next video. And if you like Formula One content like this in general, you want to hear me talk about Formula One more, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, lights out.